Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, a TV show that airs Monday night on Channel 46. I want to remind you that I am a practicing physician in Pahrump, and I'm an independent practitioner, which means I am not bought by any insurance company or corporate medicine. We provide the highest level of care. We have nurse practitioners. We have other physicians, specialists who come to our office. Please come visit me. I'm at 1316 East Calvada here in the heart of Pahrump. Thank you. Alrighty, well, this is going to be the last segment because we had the first 15 minutes or 13 minutes we were trying to get here. So this will be your last chance if you're a caller out there and you have a question coming up about anything. So get that call in 727-8750. Let's see. Springtime, when the rain is coming, and it's going to be a really bad spring, I think, as far as pollen and growth. You already start to see the grass starting to come up. So we're going to have a lot of allergy problems, and then that creates a big tumbleweed problem and creates a big thing. So if you are an allergy sufferer, be aware, be prepared for this year, and make sure that you are... I don't know what the year's going to hold for heat or cool, but if it gets hot enough and dry enough, it'll kill everything, but you will suffer in March. And I think, is this week daylight savings time?
I think it's next week.
Is it next week?
Yeah, I think it's the second week in March.
Okay, so if it's the first or second, but anyway, that being said, that'll help the days are already getting longer.
Yeah, which is good. I love this time of year.
Yeah, and then that means things have longer to grow, and so that's when you get in this nicer weather. And of course, Pahrump's real weird. I mean, weird for a lot of reasons, but I mean, you literally go from spring to summer in a week. Yeah. It goes from a nice 80 to 100, and the same thing with winter. So, and that's why nothing grows here except for maybe cotton because it gets hot enough. And I still think there's a lot of arsenic in the ground too, left over from.
With as much rain as we got, you'd think that it would have bleached it out this season, but they use so much of it though. They use
I did it. There's a little bit. I was telling somebody the other day that I have a tiny Geiger counter, and I got it from a company called Soeks, which is Soeks, and they're Russian made. They're the Russians again, right? But it's really like $49 to $50, and it has a little digital display, and you can actually turn it on. It takes 2 AA batteries, and you can actually watch the background radiation. Okay. Cool. Now, background radiation is measured in 2 different forms. One called sieverts, and this measures what's called microsieverts, and there's another one called millirads or rads. So the difference between the two is sieverts are a health exposure risk, and rads are an accumulated dose. Okay, so when you're measuring, dosages and what they call a dosimeter or what you're being exposed to, the normal background radiation in what we call health risk is anything less than 0.5 microsieverts per hour. Okay, and so when you exceed that range, okay, then you need to be very concerned about prolonged exposure. And I kind of wondered what happened when the wind blew here to see if there was any radiation that would come from the test site and things of that nature. There really wasn't. Okay, you go outside and it stays, and Pahrump stays about 0.2. Okay, and it's good to be in your house because if you have a basement, there's some people that take it down a basement and you can get radon or some other gas exposure that you don't know about. So you can start to see some of this exposure. So I decided one day I'll take it and I'll drive as I'm going up to Beatty. Okay, and I'm seeing what the background radiation is. So you get to Crystal, and it actually goes down to 0.8. It's almost...
it goes down.
It goes down when you get to Crystal, okay? And then you turn left, and you're going now, and Lathrop Wells is that little area right in Amargosa Valley right there. Let me tell you, that's hot.
Is it?
0.4. So it's still normal, but it's twice as much the radiation right there in that area than Pahrump.
I wonder why.
That's a flow through pattern.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a direct flow through pattern from the rest site, from the test site. So I think that point is hot. And then I even wanted to see going up Eco, that Eco place right there. They do radiation things. It was 0.13. 0.14, nothing going there. And baiting all up 95 is pretty much along the test site is usually nothing. But that one little area right there that spreads right in Amargosa, that's pretty hot. And the wind was blowing pretty hard, and that was like 0.4. So that was pretty, that was pretty. Now, here's the deal, right? You go up in an airplane, take this thing in an airplane, 2.2.
Over Amargosa?
No.
Over Lathrop Wells?
Because, in an airplane, just 37,000 feet, you're getting normal background radiation 0.2, and an airplane is 2 point something.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so it's like 100 times more. The reason is you've lost all the atmospheres, you've lost all that ionizing radiations coming through. So you say, oh my God, I mean, you're getting all this exposure in an airplane. So what's the deal, right? Is it really that unhealthy to fly in a plane? And you think, well, I haven't really seen pilots and stewardesses coming down with any strange forms of cancer from all that radiation. And the gland that's the most exposed to any radiation is the thyroid. Okay, so you'll talk all these prepper books will tell you get potassium iodide just to prevent if there's in case there's a nuclear fallout. But sieverts, right? This is sieverts. Well, sieverts, you have to. I did some math behind it. You have to fly 96 years straight at that range, at that level, to be at risk of developing cancer. So the thing about it is it's all relative. And RADS is a totally different thing. There's a newer one that can switch between RADS and everything else like that. But just to let you know, Pahrump is, I think, pretty safe as far as background radiation. So they have those badges you can buy too that you can stick in your wallet.
It's like the X-ray.
Yeah, it's like an X-ray thing. That's a dosimeter, okay, and it gives you, but it goes for certain long, and then it'll tell you if you've been exposed to anything. I knew some friends that worked out at the test site, and they actually will test people leaving in the place, and some of them will get their cars get pretty hot from some of that being the exposure. So, I don't know, about water supply and things of that nature, but I do know that
I think the water supply, you got to worry more about the arsenic.
Yeah, well, and they do a testing, and last time I saw the testing from the water supply here, I wasn't not impressed. I mean, it looked like we were right there on the borderline for a lot of different things. So I like to use distilled water. You can buy those things on Amazon. It's like $80, and it makes your own distilled water. So when I do coffee or I make iced tea, I use a lot of distilled water, and you can see all the solute down in the bottom of that. And if you're using a vaporizer, which a lot of people are doing, I suggest you use distilled water, and I suggest you clean it out because you can get some mold in there, okay? And you can get some stuff in there. So, and then in the wintertime, as it gets cold, the humidity drops to 10%. Now, even in this place, I come in here and I get, there's a lot of dust in here.
Yeah, you plug up by the end of the night.
I do,
most of the time when we're
yeah.
here.
I do. So I saw something interesting too in Houston. Somebody, an ENT, is doing some sinuplasty. So I don't know what he's doing. I got to research in it, but I think it's for congestion. I think they go in and they basically crush your turbinates and open up your sinuses.
There's got to be some type of long-term effect of that.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's basically the turbinates are where are the folds of the skin.
Yeah.
And by opening, it's not a rhinoplasty, it's a sinuplasty. So I think he's going in there and manipulating those and opening up your nose quite a bit. And I know my wife was saying I was snoring a little bit more than usual, so I'm going to try one of those Zipas. I've seen those on TV. I was going to order one of those. They jut your jaw out a little bit. But I'd gotten a cold, and all that Pahrump crud going through, and my sinuses.
Are you still seeing a lot of that?
No.
It's finally starting.
Yeah, it's starting to taper off quite a bit. But it's been that way for the last 3 or 4 years. It's pretty bad pretty bad run of bronchial stuff out there.
It comes in just before Christmas and hangs on till March.
Yeah, and it's been pretty bad. I had it 3 or 4 years ago. Sent me 2 trips to the ER because I woke up choking on it. But so yeah, it's serious out there. So, but I haven't seen anything like that. And I think brand new year, colonoscopies. If you hadn't had it done, think about that. Make sure you're getting your mammogram if you're a female every 2 years. Very important. I mean, the number in medicine, I guess there's a thing called number to treat. How many mammograms do you have to have? What's the frequency in order to save a life? It's every other year. The hospital will send you a thing every year because they certainly like to generate the revenue of you doing that. But really, if you have no risk of breast cancer and you're using screening, it's every 2 years.
Is there anybody out here doing colonoscopies?
Well, Sorensen was at the hospital, but I think he left. So I don't know what's there's been I think a drop off in the services once the hospital got sold. So I'm going to say no. I don't know if there's anybody doing that.
Also, I had a patient come in today with a 12 millimeter kidney stone that he wants to have surgically removed because he's tried the Pahrump.
Right.
Is there anybody in town that?
No, there's no surgical subspecialties in urology. Some good ones. I don't know. That's about. I don't know. Is that if it's in the kidney? You probably may. If it's not an occluding kidney stone, they don't do anything for them. If it's a staghorn, it might be a problem. But if it's in the urethra, he's
having a lot of pain.
Well, then he needs to get that lithotripsy.
Yeah.
They can break those up with the.
He's tried it, didn't work.
Oh, didn't work? Oh, so he's going to have to see a urologist?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, personally, we use Dr. Lasani in our office.
Do you?
Yeah.
Out in Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've had really good results.
I'll give you a call tomorrow and get that name.
Yeah.
And he's good?
He's very good.
Okay.
Very good. Does some robotics and a few things of that nature. So most of my patients have had very good results with him. So if you're a senior dimensions, you have to go to a special group, and we've had good results with that group too. Okay. So wherever it is. So, well, I thank everybody for tuning in. We didn't get a lot of callers, but Ray probably turned the TV off. So did Louis, or they're watching the State of the Union address.
Watching the president.
Yeah. And so we'll be here. We'll be here next Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully y'all tune us in and write your questions down if you have anything going on. And we'll be here same time, same place, same bat channel, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Same bat channel.
All right, we'll see you, Pahrump. Thank you for tuning in.
Good night, Pahrump.